WWDC Apple Event 2026. Here is everything that Apple announced at WWDC 2026. The first thing coming up, macOS Golden Gate. The new version of macOS is called macOS Golden Gate. Developer beta is out today, public beta next month. Full release this fall. Design up. Apple introduced liquid glass last year. This year they refined it based on the feedback. Text is now easier to read over blurry background. A new slider in the settings lets you make the glass look more clear or more tinted. It's your choice. On Mac, toolbars are more consistent, sidebars stretch to the edge to edge, and icons get their color back. App icons now have liquid glass built into artwork itself, making them look sharper. Performance. These are the speed improvements coming to iPhone and iPad. Fast. Apps open up to 30% faster. New photos appear in your library up to 70% faster. AirDrop is now 80% faster. File transfers from iPad to external devices are up to 5 times faster. Animations across systems are smoother. The improved CPU scheduler, which makes everything feel more fast and responsive, is now available all the way back to iPhone, and iOS 27 supports the same devices as iOS 26. So your iPhone 11 is still safe. Your iPhone is also smarter about switching between Wi-Fi to cellular. No more manual toggling Wi-Fi off when you are stuck on a weak network. In messages, you will now see an indicator when large files are being delivered. Search has been rebuilt across Spotlight, Photos, and Mail. The index is faster, more complete, and updates almost immediately after content arrives. In Mail, the most relevant email shows first, even if it is months old. Smaller features. Shared albums. Android and Windows users can also join and contribute. Full resolution sharing is now supported. Cycle tracking now includes pre-menopause and menopause support. AirPods. You can finally have custom EQ. You can now tune your song. I think this is also a major win for us. Apple Vision Pro turned panoramas into spatial scenes and use them as your environment. But who cares about Apple Vision Pro? Maps Flyover. Much sharper and more detailed city rendering. Let's get into the other section of the WWDC, child safety. Apple is giving parents much more control over their kids' devices. It's all built on top of child accounts, which automatically apply age-appropriate restrictions. Here's what's new. Setup Assistant. When setting up a child's device, parents can choose exactly which apps are available, start with a few, and add more over time. Kids have to request permission before visiting a new website in Safari. Works on iPhone, iPad, and on Mac. It is on by default under 13. Asked to connect, kids need approval before connecting to new people in apps. Communication safety now blocks violent and gore content in addition to nudity, including in FaceTime calls. Time allowance, daily time limits for entertainment, games, and social media. Built-in recommendations from child health experts. Parents can adjust everything. Schedules. Set which apps are available during school hours versus weekends. Screen time is redesigned. Cleaner overview, quick controls in one tap. Apple Intelligence. Apple rebuilt Apple Intelligence this year in collaboration with Google. Using technology from the Gemini model family, new models run both on your device and on Apple servers through private cloud compute, meaning your data is never stored or shared with anyone. What this unlocks is much better understanding and reasoning, image understanding and generation, a more powerful on-device model for newer Apple Silicon devices, expressive Siri voices, speech understanding. Privacy works the same. Everything is processed on-device or in private cloud compute. Apple cannot access your data. Independent experts can verify this at any time. And the most biggest announcement is Siri AI. A new Siri Apple is calling Siri AI it's a full rebuild. You can access it the same way, side button or the action button, but it's far more capable. What has changed? Siri can now handle multi-step requests using your personal context, world knowledge, and your apps all at once. Ask follow-up questions, refine answers, go back and forth. A dedicated app for it saves your conversations, sync across iPhone, iPad, Mac via iCloud. On iPhone, swipe down from the dynamic island to activate, type to Siri. On Mac, Siri is now built into Spotlight. Right-click on any file, image, or text and to ask Siri about it. On Apple Watch, Siri AI is available from the app grid. On Vision OS, Siri appears as a 3D object. You can place it anywhere. Just look at it and speak. No trigger face needed. Siri also gets expressive new voices on supported devices, and you can customize the speed and the tone. System-wise dictation is more accurate, better spelling, punctuation, and capitalization everywhere you type. Visual intelligence. Apple Intelligence can now see what your camera sees. On iPhone, there's a new Siri mode in the camera app. Tap the shutter and Siri identifies what is in front of you. Point at food for nutrition info. Point at a bill to split it with Apple Cash. On a Mac, keyboard shortcut activates visual intelligence. Select anything on screen and ask Siri about it. Suggested actions appear too, like adding multiple calendar events from a schedule you're looking at. On iPad, visual intelligence works inside the screenshot tool. On Vision OS, just look at an object and ask Siri about it. Pretty great, I guess. Writing tools. Write with Siri anywhere. Describe what you want and Siri drafts it. In mail and messages, Siri matches your usual tone with that specific person. You can also ask Siri for feedback on something you have already written, and Siri automatically does the proofreading for you. And it is system-wide, no extra steps, works in most third-party apps. Safari now groups your open tabs by subject automatically. New tabs are added to the right group as you browse. Close a whole group or save it as a tab group and you're done. This is exactly like Opera does. Tell Safari what change you're watching on a page, close the tab and it alerts you when it happens. Describe an extension. Describe a custom browser feature in plain language and Safari builds it for you. Automatic password updates. One tab to let Apple Intelligence update weak or compromised password across websites on your behalf. Apps with Apple Intelligence. One tap suggestions to create reminders or notes from conversations. Find photos using names, locations, and keywords. Apple Mail. Smarter suggestions, quick actions from your email context. Calendar. Add events by tapping naturally. Edit recurring events with plain language. Phone. Call context surfaces relevant info from apps before a call starts. Calling your airline. Your booking reference appears automatically, runs entirely on device. Home app. Camera notifications grouped into single activity instead of separate alerts. Compatible cameras now generate written descriptions of recorded clips. The app links related footage from multiple cameras into one playback. Search through clips using plain language. Package delivery. Person at the door. 4K resolution supported for clips on compatible cameras. Shortcuts. You can now describe a shortcut in plain language and Apple Intelligence builds it for you. Every step automatically assembled, no manual setup required. Image Playground. Image Playground is getting a major upgrade, new generative model on private cloud compute. You can now generate photorealistic images, not just illustrated ones. Use real people from your photos library in generated images. You can now transform existing photos into any style you describe. Circle an object to move or resize or modify it with a description. You can now choose dimensions like landscape, portrait, squares, etc. Generates contact posters and lock screen and wallpapers. All of this is available via API for developers. Photos. For photos, there is a new editing tool. 3 new AI-powered tools in Photos app. Cleanup. It removes unwanted objects with better, more realistic results. This was promised before, but it wasn't working that way. Extend. This function is new. It extends the edges of a photo to add more space or change the aspect ratio without cropping. Like you can extend beyond your frame. Spatial reframing. You can now recompose a photo after a fact as if you move the camera at the moment you draw. Drag, shift the perspective and the gaps fill in using generative AI. Works on old photos too, including ones that are not taken on any Apple cameras. Apple is now a very big camera manufacturer. Developer tools. Xcode coding assistants now localize entire apps, interact with simulated devices, and connect to Figma and GitHub. You can now choose from multiple AI models, including Gemini. Some things that I forgot to mention was the developer beta is available now. The public beta will be available next month, and the full release will be this fall. I think along with the iPhone. Siri launches on English first, beta for users this year, not available at launch in EU or China. Apple is working on it. Some image generation features have daily limits on the free tier. More access comes to iCloud Plus plans. And that is everything that Apple announced in WWDC 2026. If you found this useful, drop a like and subscribe. See you in the next video.